How's it going, guys? I'm Josh. That's rude. Do not put that. Don't.
And next, your gosh dog.
I don't have enough time. Do you want a popsicle? Alright, we gotta put them away now. That's a good. Okay! Jesus Christ!
What's up, guys? You're watching Gosh Talk.
Let's fucking talk about it. That's sticking around.
Fuck yeah, it is. So we're gonna start off with something that is just unfathomable.
Revolutionary?
Apparently,
I'm excited.
scientists have discovered God. It happened like last week.
Graeme.
They discovered God.
No! They found the God particle.
Yeah, they found God's particle.
No, you're close. It's the particle that reenacts basically what happened seconds, like milliseconds after the Big Bang happened. So the Big Bang happened, and then all of a sudden there was this massive expansion. Before the expansion, there was just one particle, the Big Bang. Of course, this is all still theory, but they found the Higgs Boson Particle, which, like I said, is a particle that reenacts basically the actions milliseconds after the Big Bang. They didn't find God. They found the God particle, which is a nickname for the Higgs Boson Particle.
Let's see.
Yeah.
I've been misinformed.
I'm sorry. This happens to you often.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do love physics. Physics is something that's always been very big to me. I love talking about physics and space.
As it is to everyone.
Yeah, really. I mean, physics is a really big deal. It basically controls the flow of our lives. So the Higgs Boson Particle is an elementary particle. Okay? So they've just recently discovered that they can probably recreate the Big Bang. Right now it's in a particle reactor, right? So they're slamming particles together, and that's how they created this.
Okay.
Now, as you can imagine, recreating the Big Bang...
It sounds kind of dangerous.
It sounds really dangerous.
Yeah.
And it could go one of two ways, because when the Big Bang happened, it was all luck, right? It was all nothing. Two particles hit, boom, bang, everything, right? It all just expanded vastly and very, very quickly, and it still is. Now, this could have gone the opposite way, right? Because sometimes when two particles hit, they implode. And that's the theory of how black holes start.
I was going to say.
Yeah. So there's the one where everything, and then there's the one where it's just
emptiness,
permanent nothingness, right? So it's really odd. Now, the reason this is so dangerous is because this particle that they have contained could technically
create a black hole.
Right, yeah, and that's what everybody's really worried about. Because
that sounds safe to be in a lab.
They could create a black hole the size of the universe inside of Earth.
That's a little dangerous.
It's really, but I mean,
it's really a little dangerous.
So cool to talk about. I mean,
it is really cool.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Knowing that they've discovered something like this, like the Higgs Boson Particle, is incredible. It's absolutely revolutionary to everything that we've ever discovered.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. We know that this particle exists. It has been proven that there's fact that this particle that recreates the events milliseconds after the Big Bang, the theoretical Big Bang, this is what the particle would be. It's being contained in its elementary state. There's no proof that if they were to release this particle, that something of that magnitude and nature would happen, because we can't know, right? There's no way to know, because either we're going to recreate everything again, which really, that's just as dangerous as creating a black hole.
Yeah.
A universe exploding out of this particle. Like, that's why they call it the Big Bang.
Aliens.
Cheetahs.
Also.
Cheetahs. They actually started talking about the Higgs Boson Particle in 1964.
Yeah. It was a long time.
Yeah, it was when it was first brought up, the idea. And then since then, they've just been smashing particles together, hoping that they get the reaction that they've been looking for. And I mean, it's great that they're doing it in a reactor where it's all very contained, but I feel like reactor, black hole...
Black hole's gonna win.
Boom! Easily. It sucks in everything.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop. I mean, there's ways that they can neutralize the particle, but nobody's that... It hits, and then it's something new, and it's something that science can't even explain yet. That's incredible. It really is, and it touches me on a level that it really is incredible.
It's unreal, but it makes you wonder though, like whether they should be testing it out now, or whether they should just be containing it until a point where they feel they could.
And that's really what they're doing. They're containing it, and everything from this point on for probably the next 100 years is going to be talk. They're going to have 30 scientists and James Cameron sitting in a room and just staring at it.
And Michael Bay, this is going to be exploding.
And Michael Bay is just going to be like, okay, we need a giant robot here, we need boom, 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 good to go?
Okay, driving down the highway, right? It's in the back of the truck.
Stay with me, fellas.
Meteor comes out of nowhere.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah. You're welcome, Paramount. God Particle. Revenge.
So tell us what you think of the God Particle. Is it real? Because science is always delivering us really bait both ways. Sometimes they'll tell us that they don't have something, right? And then, lead us along until all of a sudden, woo, it's there. And sometimes they'll tell us that they're above and beyond where they are, and that's how they get some of their funding, right? This could just be a printout. Like, it could just be a format. It could just be looking for funding towards finding this particle. Because the Higgs Boson has been told that, we've been told that it exists, but really, there's no way of really knowing unless you're really at the top of the chain.
That's true.
It could go either way.
It's the same thing with anything, though, really. I mean, you watch the news and like, did that really happen?
Yeah.
Or they're just setting that up.
Yeah.
There's all the media.
A lot of stuff like that. There's been a lot of stuff.
There's Coca-Cola.
You ever heard of this?
There's Heinz ketchup. And there's Lay's potato chips.
All of those things certainly exist.
Those are the big companies who control the media.
I mean, I don't know if you're wrong, but can you prove that statement?
I choose not to.
You just said it, so that's proof enough, right? I mean, you said it.
Yeah. I'm a scientist.
So this was all stuff that we found interesting to us today. We learned a lot about conspiracies by looking up the Higgs Boson particle. We were doing some research on it, and there's so much to learn, right? And somebody was just talking about, think about 100 years ago and what they had. Right? Now think about the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Right? It's incredible.
The growth is unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. Now think about the next 100 years.
The next 100, it's going to be exponentially huge.
If we can just keep our shit together and not blow ourselves up for 100 years, I think that the world can really restart. Like, we'll get a second chance and we can restart using the technology we have.
Well, Stephen Hawking even said, give the human race another 200 years.
Yeah.
And then we will be unstoppable.
Yes.
Because at that point, we will then be able to leave our planet and
colonize
other planets.
Yeah.
And, at that point, we could be unstoppable.
Yeah. All I want is just, unless the Covenant gets here.
Unless the government.
And there's glassing planets all over the place.
Well, that's going to be in 500 years.
All I'm saying is, if we can keep our shit together and just not blow ourselves up for 100 years... Just imagine what the humans will be capable of.
I'm actually sad that I'm not going to be around at that time.
I'm terrified. I'm terrified that I'm not going to be there to see it.
Like, I always felt bad for, like, people, 100 years ago from this point, saying, like, oh, they had to put up with this, they didn't have this, they didn't have this. Yeah. That's what we are, exponentially huge, from 100 years from now.
100 years ago in America, people didn't even think about 100 years in the future, right? They didn't care. They were living for the moment. Right? And that's when all of a sudden people started to change. We can do this for our future generations, right? If that was the case 100 years ago, nobody would be using gas. We would not be digging into the earth. We would not be looking for coal. If we were thinking 100 years ago about our future like we are now, everything would be green. Like, we'd be driving on streets of grass.
If we didn't have the Dark Ages, do you know how high up we'd be? How long was the Dark Ages?
Like 1,000 years?
1,000 years?
Wasn't it from like 1,000 AD? Oh, not till 2000.
Not to 2000.
No, okay, so way. Like 350 years, maybe?
350 years?
Yeah, 1350.
Can you imagine if technology had started... Like, if the point that we're at now was 350 years ago, where we would be at this point?
No, I honestly couldn't. Well, we had a lot of opportunities, right? There was a lot of opportunities to discover the stuff we did. It all happened in, like, 10 years. Boom.
Recently.
Yeah,
but that's what I mean. But that's because of the innovations that science brought.
Right.
Yeah.
But it could have happened at any time.
It could have happened.
It really could have happened at any time. We stumbled upon it. Right? So, it's all insane.
Yeah.
And really, I don't know who else to thank other than Nikola Tesla. Right? Nikola Tesla discovering the fusion coils and a lot of people say he discovered the telephone before Alexander Graham
Bell.
Yeah. Right? So really, Nikola Tesla was like...
Big fucking deal.
He's like my hero. My hero of science. As far as scientists go,
Mm-hmm.
Nikola Tesla was the man. He started all of this.
Yeah.
That's where we are today. Anyways, guys, thanks a lot for watching a nerdy episode of Grosh Talk. We hope you were able to follow along. If not, do some research. I mean, that's your homework.
Google Higgs boson.
Yeah.
And read up on it because it's really, really interesting. You may not be able to wrap your head around it because I actually had a hard time when I first read about it to understand what it was telling me. Yeah. But it's really, really cool.
It's very cool. If you like what you saw in the video, hit the thumbs up button down below. It helps the show a lot. If you want to watch it with your friends, share it to your Facebooks or your Twitters. If you want to leave a comment, do that in the space down below. I'm switching it up today.
Ooh.
Last but not least, if you want to see more of our videos or be alert when new ones come out, hit that subscribe button. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. We'll talk to you later.
Peace.